Welcome back to ABCGH Spoilers channel. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most intricate and suspenseful storylines General Hospital has ever delivered. Secrets are unraveling, alliances are shifting, and the stakes have never been higher. What really happened to Cyrus Renault? Is Jocelyn Jax being manipulated by Jack Brennan? And how does Jason Morgan fit into this tangled web of deceit and danger? Let's break it all down with a detailed analysis of every angle in this thrilling saga. Jack Brennan, the puppet master or a man in over his head? Jack Brennan is emerging as one of the most enigmatic figures in this unfolding drama. On the surface, he seems like a man with a clear agenda, but his motivations remain as murky as ever. Could he be the mastermind behind Cyrus Renault's supposed murder and the chaos that has followed? Or is he merely reacting to events spiraling out of his control? One theory gaining traction is that Jack deliberately orchestrated the events at the cabin to manipulate Jocelyn Jax into believing she killed Cyrus. By planting this belief in her mind, he could control her actions and steer her toward his ultimate goal, recruiting her into the WSB. But why Jocelyn? Why go to such lengths to involve a young woman who has no training, no inclination toward law enforcement, and dreams of becoming a doctor? Some fans speculate that Jack sees untapped potential in Jocelyn, perhaps something even she doesn't recognize yet. Others believe his interest in her is far more sinister. Could he be using her as a scapegoat to cover up his own involvement in Cyrus' disappearance? If so, this raises serious questions about his character and intentions. And let's not forget Carly Spencer, Jocelyn's fiercely protective mother. When Carly finds out what Jack has been up to, there's no doubt she'll unleash her fury. But will Carly's intervention come too late to save Jocelyn from Jack's manipulative grasp? Adding another layer of complexity is Jack's decision to confiscate all of Jocelyn's belongings, her phone, clothes, jewelry, and forbid her from speaking about what happened at the cabin. This calculated move isolates Jocelyn from her support system and leaves her vulnerable to Jack's influence. Is this part of a larger plan to break her down emotionally and make her more susceptible to his demands? Or is Jack simply trying to cover his tracks and ensure no evidence ties him to Cyrus' disappearance? Jason Morgan, a target in someone else's game while Jocelyn wrestles with guilt and confusion, Jason Morgan finds himself thrust into the spotlight as the prime suspect in Cyrus Renault's disappearance. Anna Devane wasted no time calling Jason in for questioning after two hairs allegedly matching his DNA were discovered at the scene. But this so-called evidence raises more questions than answers. As fans know, Jason has an identical twin brother, Drew Kane. Despite Drew's new face following reconstructive surgery, his DNA remains identical to Jason's. This fact seems lost on the PCPD, who are quick to point fingers without considering alternative explanations. Could someone be using this genetic loophole to frame Jason or Drew for Cyrus' murder? The list of potential culprits is long. Jen Sidwell immediately comes to mind, given his ongoing feud with Sonny Corinthos over control of Port Charles's piers. Could Sidwell be orchestrating this entire scheme as part of a larger power play? Or is Drew acting independently, perhaps motivated by unresolved issues with Jason or Sonny? Even Harrison Chase has weighed in on Jason's behalf, arguing that he isn't reckless enough to leave such incriminating evidence behind. Chase's defense raises an important point. Whoever planted those hairs knew exactly what they were doing and likely had access to both Jason and Drew at some point. This level of precision suggests a highly calculated plan designed to sow discord among Port Charles's most powerful players. Jocelyn Jax, a young woman caught in a dangerous game. Jocelyn Jax is at the heart of this unfolding drama, though she may not fully realize it yet. After the events at the cabin, she is consumed by guilt, genuinely believing she killed Cyrus Renault. But did she? Or has Jack Brennan manipulated her into thinking she pulled the trigger when he was actually responsible? Jocelyn's emotional turmoil is palpable. She wanted nothing more than to confide in someone she trusts, like Jason Morgan, but circumstances have conspired against her at every turn. With Jason unavailable and Jack forbidding her from speaking to anyone else, including her mother, Jocelyn feels increasingly isolated and overwhelmed. Her dreams of becoming a doctor seem worlds away from the reality she now faces. The idea of joining the WSB, a career path Jack keeps pushing, feels completely foreign to her. Yet Jack's persistence suggests he won't take no for an answer. Could Jack be exploiting Jocelyn's vulnerability for his own gain? If so, what does he hope to achieve by steering her toward a career in espionage? Some fans believe Jack sees Jocelyn as a potential asset due to her intelligence and resourcefulness. Others think he may have a personal vendetta against Carly Spencer and is using Jocelyn as a means of getting back at her. The bigger picture: who is really pulling the strings? As complex as this storyline already is, there are hints that an even larger conspiracy may be at play. Cyrus Renault's disappearance has sent shockwaves through Port Charles, but it's unclear whether he is truly dead or simply lying low while plotting his next move. If Cyrus is still alive, could he be working with or against Jack Brennan? Alternatively, could an entirely different party be orchestrating events from behind the scenes? The possibilities are endless. One intriguing theory posits that someone within the WSB itself may be manipulating Jack and Jocelyn for their own purposes. If true, this would add yet another layer of intrigue and danger to an already volatile situation. What lies ahead for our favorite characters? With so many unanswered questions and conflicting motives, it's impossible to predict how this storyline will resolve itself. Will Jocelyn find the strength to stand up to Jack Brennan and reclaim control over her life? Can Jason Morgan clear his name before it's too late? And how will Carly Spencer react when she learns what has been happening under her nose? One thing is certain: the road ahead will be filled with twists, turns, and shocking revelations that will keep fans glued to their screens. Next, we're diving into a whirlwind of drama, betrayal, and shocking twists that could shake up Port Charles. Let's explore the tangled relationships and potential fallout surrounding Rick Lansing, Ava Jerome, and Alexis Davis. Grab a seat because this one's going to be juicy. Ava Jerome's potential betrayal: could Rick Lansing break her trust? Ava Jerome has been walking an emotional tightrope lately, balancing her growing connection with Rick Lansing while keeping her guard up. Although Ava and Rick have taken their relationship to the next level by sharing intimate moments, Ava may soon find herself questioning whether she made the right choice. Rick is charming and persuasive, but his history suggests he's not the most trustworthy partner. If Ava learns that Rick has been unfaithful, particularly with someone as close to her orbit as Alexis Davis, the fallout could be catastrophic. Ava and Alexis already have a tense rivalry simmering beneath the surface, but Rick's potential betrayal could turn that tension into an all-out war. Ava has never been one to take betrayal lightly. If she discovers Rick's indiscretions, she might retaliate in ways that only Ava Jerome can, boldly and without hesitation. Could this lead to a dramatic confrontation between these two powerful women? And if so, whose side will the people of Port Charles take? Alexis Davis, a woman in need of comfort or a catalyst for chaos? Alexis Davis has been through an emotional ringer in recent weeks. Still grappling with the devastating loss of her daughter Sam McCall and the shocking revelations about Cyrus Renault, Alexis is a woman in need of solace. Enter Rick Lansing, a familiar face from her past who seems all too willing to step into the role of comforter. In a recent episode, viewers saw Alexis reluctantly accept Rick's embrace after initially resisting his attempts to console her. This moment of vulnerability could mark the beginning of something deeper between them or reignite old flames that never fully burned out. It's worth noting that Rick and Alexis share a complicated romantic history filled with highs and lows. Could their shared grief and emotional connection lead them back into each other's arms? If so, this rekindled romance would undoubtedly send shockwaves through Port Charles. Not only would it complicate Alexis' already fragile state of mind, but it would also create significant tension with Ava Jerome. After all, Alexis knows exactly how much Rick means to Ava right now. Is Alexis unintentionally setting herself up for heartbreak, or does she have her own reasons for getting closer to Rick again? Rick Lansing, a man torn between two women? Rick Lansing has always been a man driven by ambition and self-interest, but his recent actions suggest he may be more conflicted than ever. On one hand, he seems genuinely invested in building something meaningful with Ava Jerome. Their relationship has progressed quickly, moving from flirtation to intimacy in a matter of weeks. Yet on the other hand, Rick's lingering connection to Alexis Davis cannot be ignored. Nina Reeves recently warned Ava about Rick's true nature, pointing out that he cares more about money and himself than anyone else. While Ava initially dismissed Nina's concerns, she may soon realize there's truth in her words. If Rick is indeed drawn back to Alexis, whether out of genuine affection or opportunism, it could confirm Nina's worst fears about him. But what is driving Rick's behavior? Is he simply unable to resist temptation when it comes to Alexis, or is there something deeper at play? Perhaps he feels torn between his past with Alexis and his future with Ava, or maybe he's using both women to further his own agenda. Whatever the case may be, it's clear that Rick Lansing is playing a dangerous game. Nina Reeves' warning, a prophecy waiting to be fulfilled? Nina Reeves has always had a knack for seeing through people's facades, and her recent warning to Ava about Rick may prove prophetic. Nina tried to sound the alarm early on, cautioning Ava against getting too close to a man who has a track record of putting himself first. Unfortunately for Ava, she chose to ignore Nina's advice, and now she may pay the price. If Nina's prediction comes true and Rick betrays Ava with Alexis, or someone else, it could vindicate Nina while leaving Ava feeling humiliated and heartbroken. But how will Nina react if her warning goes unheeded? Will she step in to support Ava during this difficult time, or will she take satisfaction in being proven right? Nina's role in this storyline could become even more significant if she decides to take matters into her own hands. Could she expose Rick's secrets before they come to light naturally? And if so, what consequences might that have for everyone involved? The future of Rick and Alexis, a love rekindled or trouble ahead? If Rick and Alexis do end up rekindling their romance, it won't come without complications. Both characters are carrying significant emotional baggage. Alexis from her grief over Sam and Cyrus Renault's machinations, and Rick from his unresolved feelings for both women in his life. Their reunion could bring temporary comfort but ultimately lead to more heartache for everyone involved. For Alexis, getting involved with Rick again might open old wounds rather than heal them. And for Ava, discovering this betrayal would feel like a double blow, losing both a lover and any trust she had in him. General Hospital spoilers suggest that trouble is brewing for all three characters as their lives intersect in increasingly messy ways. Will anyone come out of this situation unscathed? Or will their entanglements leave lasting scars on their hearts and their reputations? Final thoughts, a brewing storm in Port Charles. As we watch these events unfold on General Hospital, one thing is clear: the drama surrounding Rick Lansing, Ava Jerome, and Alexis Davis is far from over. With betrayal looming on the horizon and emotions running high, viewers can expect plenty of twists and turns in the coming weeks. Will Ava discover the truth about Rick before it's too late? Can Alexis find peace amidst all the chaos? And what role will Nina Reeves play as this storyline continues to develop? Next, we're diving into one of the most explosive storylines brewing in Port Charles. Secrets, family drama, and emotional revelations are about to shake up the Quartermaines, the Falconaries, and even the Corinthos clan. How will the truth about Gio Palmieri's paternity come to light? And what will be the fallout for everyone involved? Let's unravel this tangled web of deception and heartbreak. How will Lulu Spencer spill the Gio secret? Lulu Spencer has never been one to hold back her thoughts, especially when emotions run high. With her characteristic bluntness and a tendency to act on impulse, It's only a matter of time before she lets the truth about Gio Palmieri's paternity slip. But how exactly will this bombshell come out? Will Lulu intentionally expose Brooklyn Quartermaine, BLQ, and Lois Cerullo's role in keeping Dante Falconeri from his son, or will it be an unintentional slip-up at the worst possible moment? Imagine this, a Quartermaine family gathering filled with laughter, tension, and the usual chaos that accompanies their events. Lulu, perhaps frustrated with Brooklyn for some unrelated reason, might pull Dante aside for a private conversation. Yet in true soap opera fashion, Tracy Quartermaine, always lurking where she shouldn't be, could overhear everything. Tracy is not one to keep quiet when juicy gossip is at her fingertips. If she blurts out the truth in front of everyone, it could lead to a dramatic confrontation that leaves Dante reeling and Gio blindsided. Alternatively, Lulu might confront Brooklyn directly, accusing her of selfishly hiding Joe's true parentage. If emotions boil over during this confrontation, it could escalate into a public showdown where the secret is revealed for all to hear. Either way, Lulu's involvement in exposing this delicate truth could have far-reaching consequences, not just for herself but for everyone connected to Gio. Dante Falconeri, a father caught in the crossfire. For Dante Falconeri, learning that Gio Palmieri is his biological son will undoubtedly be life-changing. The revelation will force him to re-evaluate his past decisions and relationships. How will he process the fact that Brooklyn and Lois kept this secret from him for so long? And how will he navigate his feelings toward Lulu if he believes she exposed the truth out of spite? Dante has always been a man of integrity, but this situation could push him to his emotional limits. On one hand, he may feel betrayed by Brooklyn for not telling him sooner. On the other hand, he might understand her reasons, perhaps she feared how Dante would react or wanted to protect Gio from unnecessary upheaval. However, if Dante senses that Lulu revealed the secret out of jealousy or resentment toward Brooklyn, it could strain their already complicated relationship. Dante's reaction will also depend on how Gio responds to the news. As a father who deeply values family bonds, Dante will want to support Gio through this emotional transition. But if Gio struggles to accept him as his father, or blames him for not being there earlier, it could create tension between them. Will Dante rise to the occasion and build a strong bond with his son? Or will the weight of this revelation drive a wedge between them? Gio Palmieri, a young man overwhelmed by truth. For Gio Palmieri, discovering that he is not only Dante Falconeri's son but also part of Port Charles's most prominent families, the Quartermaines and Corinthoses, will be nothing short of overwhelming. Having grown up believing he was an only child in a small adoptive family, Gio has always valued his tight-knit community in Bensonhurst. Now, he must grapple with the reality that his biological family is massive, influential, and filled with complex dynamics. The revelation that Sonny Corinthos is actually his grandfather could leave Gio feeling conflicted. On one hand, Sonny's reputation as a powerful yet polarizing figure might intimidate him. On the other hand, knowing that he has such deep connections within Port Charles could provide him with a sense of belonging he never knew he needed. However, Gio may also feel hurt and betrayed by Lois Cerullo. After losing both his adoptive parents, there were likely moments when Gio felt utterly alone in the world. Learning that Lois knew about his true parentage all along and chose not to tell him could leave lasting scars on their relationship. Will Gio lash out at Lois for keeping such a monumental secret from him? Or will he eventually come to understand her reasons for staying silent? Brooklyn Quartermaine and Lois Cerullo, the keepers of secrets. Brooklyn Quartermaine and her mother Lois Cerullo have been carrying the burden of this secret for years. While their intentions may have been noble, perhaps they wanted to protect Gio or avoid disrupting Dante's life, their decision is now coming back to haunt them. For Brooklyn, this revelation could jeopardize her relationships with both Dante and Gio. As someone who has always struggled with vulnerability and trust issues, Brooklyn may find herself on shaky ground as she tries to explain her actions. Will Dante see her decision as an act of love and protection? Or will he view it as a betrayal that kept him from forming a bond with his son? Lois Chiarullo's role in this storyline is equally complex. As someone who has always prioritized family above all else, Lois likely believed she was doing what was best for everyone involved by keeping this secret under wraps. But now that the truth is out, or about to come out, Lois must face the consequences of her choices. How will she repair her relationship with Gio after years of withholding such vital information? And how will she navigate her strained dynamic with Dante? The Quartermaines, a family shaken by scandal. The Quartermaine family is no stranger to drama, but even they might find themselves unprepared for the fallout from this revelation. As one of Port Charles's most prominent families, they are used to being in the spotlight, but having their dirty laundry aired so publicly could create new tensions within their ranks. Tracy Quartermaine's potential involvement in exposing the secret adds an extra layer of intrigue. Known for her sharp tongue and penchant for stirring up trouble, Tracy might relish the opportunity to cause chaos within her own family, even if it comes at the expense of Brooklyn or Dante. Meanwhile, other members of the Quartermaine clan may rally around Brooklyn and Gio as they navigate this difficult time. Will they embrace Gio as one of their own? Or will old grudges and rivalries resurface as they grapple with yet another family scandal? What's next for Port Charles? As General Hospital fans know all too well, secrets rarely stay buried forever, and when they do come out, they often lead to explosive consequences. The truth about Gio Palmieri's paternity is poised to shake up Port Charles like never before. Will Lulu Spencer regret her role in exposing this secret? Can Dante Falconeri build a meaningful relationship with his newly discovered son?